Hello, everybody. Welcome to this December episode of our beloved show. So I have a lot of my current and past athletes who watch these videos, and I wanted to give them something. And so just to show my love for them, I want to talk about what you can do, or at least what we would redo if we were going back to college today. And obviously there are some other choices that you can make that we're not covering here. We're really only talking about if you were to try to get the same type of job we currently have today. There's some other options like doing trade school or apprenticeships or going into the military, and those are all worthy choices, but we're not going to be discussing those in this episode because that's not really necessary for the type of work that we do today.
So if you know that you definitely want to go to college, this would be our advice for you.
All right, so we've got 4 steps for you in order to keep your college costs as low as possible. As you know, we left Carthage with about $185,000 in student loan debt combined. It is absolutely crippling. And so in order to hopefully make the next generation a little bit better off, these are some of the steps that you're going to want to take to prevent yourself from going that far into debt. So step number 1 is you're going to want to look at in-state public schools or junior colleges. So if you're looking at an in-state public school, you'll notice that the cost for tuition in those schools is going to be significantly lower. And I just want to say that you might have a dream school in mind, but your dream school's degree is not actually going to be worth more than the degree you're going to get at your public school. It's not really any different. An employer doesn't really care where your degree came from. They're more interested in your skills that you have and how you present yourself when you're working with that employer. If you fall into the trap of getting this dream degree and that it's worth 3 times more than an in-state degree, all you're falling for is their elaborate marketing ploy that these colleges are so dang good at. They're really good at selling themselves, and they even have a lot of notable alumni to do it for them. Just please don't fall into that trap.
A great thing about junior colleges, too, is that they can save you tons of money, even on the state public schools. For me, example, I could have gone to our junior college, our community college that was nearby for absolutely $0, and I opted out of doing that. That's one thing that I wish I could have gone back and done. Community colleges and junior colleges also often offer a lot of summer classes that you can take to finish your degree sooner, and then that's a shorter amount of time that you're paying tuition.
Yeah, and the sooner you get into the workforce, the sooner you start earning money, and the less amount of time total you'll be in debt. Hopefully you wouldn't be in any debt, but if you are in debt, at least you're in debt for a shorter period of time.
All right, so our second piece of advice is to apply for a lot of scholarships and grants.
Yeah, every year there are a number of scholarships that go unclaimed for whatever that reason may be. And so if you end up accumulating all this debt, just to know that there are a lot of scholarships that you could have possibly won or earned and you didn't, that sort of makes it sting even a little bit more. So just try to apply for as many as you can.
Another good piece of advice with that is to go ahead and set a goal for the number of scholarships and grants that you're going to apply to each week. So throughout your senior year, you can be applying for these. Even if they're small ones, those add up, or it could be a semester's worth of books. So apply for a lot and set a goal for yourself.
Scholarships are also way better than loans, for instance, because you don't have to pay scholarships back. That is free money. Same thing for grants, actually. Instead of taking out a loan in which you're going to have to pay back, and not only pay back, but add interest on top of that, scholarships are going to be far and away your best way of providing for your schooling. Now, another thing about scholarships, and I absolutely hated this when I was in high school and even in college when I was applying for some scholarships, a lot of them ask for an essay or some other form of work that you have to do in order to do them. I just want to let you know that a lot of times the amount of time you spend working on those applications is going to be a better return on investment of your time than it would be if you were just working at McDonald's or another job that's close by your home while you're going to high school. So don't give up on that. I know I got pretty lazy when it came to that. It's hard, but if you really buckle down and do it, you'll find out you actually will earn more money per hour doing that than you would working at a minimum wage job.
One more thing on scholarships and grants especially is that you can continue to apply for these as you're in college. So there were several times where I would see my tuition bill and notice, oh wow, that's a ton of money. I need more money to be able to pay for that. and I would go ask for another grant. So that's a possibility as well. Don't think that you're done when you graduate high school. You can continue to do that, and it would be a good idea too.
All right, step number 3 is to work while going to school. Now, if you didn't apply, if you didn't earn enough scholarship or grant money to cover your school entirely, you're going to want to work while you're in school to help cover the remaining cost. A lot of your peers are going to be willing to work during their breaks, like during their summer break, their Christmas break, their fall break, whatever it might be. But you need to have the willpower to work even during the school year. If you're able to work during the school year, you're earning money more months out of the year, which obviously means that you've earned more money over the course of that school year as well. And it just becomes a lot easier to pay off that school debt.
Working during the year too is also just a good skill to have, especially while you're looking for jobs after school. You can say that you were great at managing your time and being able to hold a job and complete all of your schooling. If possible, we would definitely recommend finding a job on campus for multiple reasons. One, you're going to save on gas if you're already there. You also save on commute times and things like that. It's also a lot easier to schedule with your classes because if you're working on campus, they know that you're also a student. They're going to work with you. Both Nick and I worked at the same office on campus, and our boss was really great at letting us set our own schedules that worked well with each other as well as with our classes. So if on top of the lower tuition school that you're going to and the grants and scholarships you got, you still aren't quite covering all of tuition, we would recommend you live at home if at all possible. I think it's really valuable to live on campus. You get a lot more experiences by being on campus full time, the social aspects, everything really. So even better is if you could get a job that pays you to work on campus. So sometimes that's actually even a scholarship that would pay for your room and board, or you can get a job like a resident assistant that will pay your full room and board to live on campus.
So obviously this wouldn't apply to you if you're going to a school that is not within living distance from your parents' home. But if at all possible, if you can go to a school that is close enough to your parents, that would be ideal because then you can live with them. And living with your parents may not be the coolest thing ever. I know that I was ready to get out of the house, even though I only lived with my parents during school breaks, but it actually can save you a ton of money. I know at Carthage at the time, had I been able to live with my parents somehow, I would have been able to save around $7,000 to $8,000 per year. So times 4, that really adds up very quickly, and it makes it worth it even though it's a little bit not cool, I guess. But what I would say on top of that, especially if you are living at home, you need to make sure that you're spending time on campus in some way, shape, or form outside of classes, so that way you can be introduced to your classmates and your friends, and you'll have time to socialize and still get that college feel, because if you don't have that, you're really going to be missing out, I feel like. All right, so those are our 4 steps for trying to save money if we were going to redo college today. And real quick, I'm going to do our update for the month of November so you can see how that went for us. All right, so we'll start off with our minimum payments of $1,187.51. This is because our newly refinanced earnest loan finally was due to be paid. This is the first month that we've had to make a minimum payment on it. We had extras of $2,219.15. Didn't really have a whole lot of additional income that came in this month. Mary did do an art commission, which netted her a modest income, but beyond that, we didn't really bring in anything additional, which means our November total is $3,406.66. We noticed that this is a little bit more on the modest side as opposed to some of the other months, but like I said, we didn't bring any additional income. Our 2020 total is now up to $55,715.44. And of course, as I had mentioned in the last episode, we already passed our goal of $50,000 for the year. So we're 111% of the way to $50,000. Yay.
Okay, that's it for today. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Thanks for watching. We post videos on the 1st and 15th of every month.